Greetings and welcome to Sanctuary. Today we are taking a look at this incredible lightning build. I've been playing it since level 1 and I don't regret it, not one bit. Without any further ado, I just want to quickly tell you which are the benefits and which are the drawbacks of this build. The benefits are extremely fun to play, at least for me. Pretty good damage, decent against bosses, and also it has a great potential for crowd controlling. So you're doing Poison Creeper, you crowd control, then you're stunning, immobilizing with lightnings. It's extremely good. The drawbacks. The only drawback is that this build suffers if you are facing a lot of elites that can chain crowd controls on you, because you just have one ability to escape. And drawback number 2, it follows from drawback number 1, you don't have a lot of mobility. That's unfortunate. With that said, let's jump straight into the build. I'm using, as usual, Bulwark, which is the best defense skill for Druid. It fortifies you, gives you barrier, makes you unstoppable, pretty awesome. The Poison Creeper is just a banana skill. It's so powerful, and in this particular build, it not only immobilizes enemies, it gives you critical strike chance, it increases your general damage, and it gives you spirit. We're going to get to that later, how this thing happens. Hurricane. We have it because it deals more than 17 damage, but on top of everything, it's another way to generate spirit. We're going to get to that later. Actually, it's more or less your primary way to get spirit, because Poison Creeper kind of is situational. We have the Cataclysm. For one reason, the lucky hit chance of this ability is crazy high. So once we activate it, we can proc so many stuff, including having Poison Creeper for free. How we are doing that? Let's jump straight into the Spirit Boons. Here I'm using a reduction from elites. Once again, you have to stay at one place, so you need to be tanky with this build. Here I have 30% critical strike damage, which is a no-brainer. Here I have critical strikes have up to 20% chance to reset the cooldowns of your companion skills. Once again, lucky hit chance 83%. Lucky hit strikes have up to 20% chance to reset the cooldowns. And if I get another Poison Creeper for free, 2-3 seconds after I cast it in the first place, it's game over already. Here, extended duration of ultimate skills by 25%. Cataclysm. The more we have it on, the higher the chance to get Poison Creeper another one for free. Absolutely incredible. And here, Overload. Lucky hit dealing damage has up to 20% chance to cause the target to emit a static discharge, dealing some damage. Originally, I was going with Calm Before the Storm, but I wasn't really impressed by it, so I decided to stick with Overload. And remember, when you have the Cataclysm, all lucky hits chance is going to be increased, because lucky hit chance 83, so everything that has a lucky hit chance will be much more successful once you have Cataclysm. So let's jump to the abilities. And here, once again, if I have to explain, I don't think I have to explain Storm Strike. The main reason why I have it is because it makes people vulnerable, and because it gives you damage reduction. Lightning Strike, there is much better way to immobilize Poison Creeper, so I would go for the Raging Lightning Storm. 3 points into Predatory Instinct, because in outer case you'll be surrounded, and thus you'll be increasing the critical strike chance, but this is not really the best. If you want, you can allocate a point somewhere here, for instance in Abundance. The Bulwark, I already explained why you need it. Poison Creeper, your critical strike chance is very important to be high, so definitely go for this particular one. And I was too lazy to farm my Renown, so I had just 1 point left, and I'll allocate it here, maxing out the skill. Now we're getting to the Nature and Storm stuff. 3 points here, increase the duration of Hurricane and Cataclysm. You're using them both. Also, we have 25% increase the duration of your ultimate here, so in a way we're increasing the duration by 40%, which is huge. Also, the duration of Hurricane. Remember, Hurricane is important because it generates spirit for you. Also, Lucky Hit has a 30% chance when dealing damage to vulnerable, immobilized, to stun enemies that a lightning bolt will also hit, dealing blah blah blah. And which is a skill that has a very high lucky hit chance, Cataclysm. Here, lucky hit dealing damage, lightning damage to enemies have up to 15% chance to immobilize them for 3.45 seconds if they're already immobilized. There we go. We will be dealing 18% increased damage. Crazy. And every 18 seconds a lightning bolt hits a nearby enemy, dealing blah blah blah. Now this one is not really that important, but still it's okay. Now, some of you say why you're using Natural Hurricane to Savage Hurricane, because Savage Hurricane is also useful, reduces the damage that you take by 20%. To be honest with you, at this point I don't have issues surviving. My only problem comes if I basically go into a room of elites and they can chain like stuns, freezes, stuff like this, and I cannot really clear all of them. This is my only problem. If this thing happens, I don't think that Savage Hurricane is going to save me. But if at a certain point I start getting really beat up, definitely I will switching this one to Savage Hurricane. Here, poison. Enemies take 30% increased critical strike damage. How you poison them? It's easy, using the Poison Creeper. This one is a no-brainer, you have to go for it. And here I have everything maxed. Now, Nature Magic skill deal 12% increased damage to elites. Very, very important. Your Storm skills deal 12% increased damage to enemies that are stunned, immobilized, or knocked back. And we have Nature skills deal 6% increased damage. Triple this bonus if an Earth skill is the next skill cast after a Storm skill, or a Storm skill is the next skill cast after Earth skill. Unfortunately, I wouldn't recommend always to open by Bulwark, because Bulwark is your only chance to survive if you get stunned, frozen, stuff like this. So if you use it in the beginning, you need to really know what you're doing. And we have the Circle of Light. That's important because nature skills that consume spirit, the Lightning Storm, heal you for 3% of your maximum life. So not only you'll be dealing damage, but also Lightning Storm will heal you. And the Cataclysm, of course. And another skill, the Perfect Storm. This one is really, really important. This is the way how you make sure that Hurricane basically gives you spirit. It says just one spirit that you cast. So this one and this one, they both you both cast them, right? So why is just one spirit? Because it's one spirit per enemy. If you're surrounded by 20 enemies, so let's say 10 enemies, it will give you 10 spirit per second. I'm going to demonstrate that in a second, but all we know, by having the Perfect Storm, Hurricane becomes your primary source of spirit. Let's get to the legendaries. Alright, so once again, with this build you need to do 4 things. First thing, to proc lucky hit chance almost everywhere. The second thing, to do damage, of course, and to overcharge enemies with lightnings. The third thing is to be tanky. That's really, really important. You need to be tanky. And the fourth thing is to make a way to generate spirit. Like, you shouldn't be out of spirit. Now, we already established that Hurricane is our primary way of generating spirit, but there is something more. This legendary is incredibly useful for this build. Look at this. Restore 4 of your primary resources when you crowd control an enemy. How do you crowd control them? By using Poison Creeper. So if you're surrounded by 20 monsters, you Poison Creeper them, you get 80 spirit. Then you activate your ultimate, the lucky hit chance procs, the Poison Creeper cooldown gets reset, then you do it again, you're doing massive damage in the process, and you're restoring another 80 spirit. So in a way, Poison Creeper is also a very, very good way to generate spirit, especially if you don't have any spirit. Let's say your spirit is really low at 0, but there's a group, a large group of monsters you want to engage. You just activate your Poison Creeper, you fill your spirit globe, and you then start destroying them. I'm going to demonstrate that in a second. Also, this one is probably one of the best. For this particular build, because it makes you immune for 7.5 seconds. If you're low on health, you can heal, thanks to the fact that Lightning Storm will heal you, and you can do insane amount of damage to everybody around you without taking anything in return. Also very, very useful against the Butcher, also very, very useful against bosses. If this thing is active and you have all your skills on, you can absolutely destroy the Butcher by just having this thing. And I was very, very lucky to have it on the maximum roll, 7.5 seconds. Here, Lightning Storm critical strikes spawn 3 dancing bolts that seek enemies in the area, dealing 930 damage. And it's really, really easy to critically strike with the Lightning Storm. For one thing, you get 20% here. Then you get another 20% here. Look at this. Casting an Earth skill increases the critical strike chance of Storm skills by 21.6%. So in a way, if you open by Bulwark, once again, sometimes it can be really, really dangerous, but sometimes this is the way to go. So open by Bulwark and then start doing your lightning skills. They will have increased critical hit chance. So that's pretty cool. So the next one, this is probably the only legendary that I don't really need, but it gives me 2 max evade charges just while I'm using it. And when you have Fortify, your Earth skills gain +2 ranks. Not really that important because I don't really use a lot of Earth spells except for the Bulwark. Also, I have here you heal for 13 life per second for each close enemy up to 121 life per second. So in a way, you're standing in one place, and if they somehow hurt you, if you're hitting a lot of them and if they're staying around you, you are healing. So for one thing, you are healing from Lightning Storm, and then you are healing by virtue of having this particular legendary. Also, look at this. Critical strikes with storm skills that you cast charge the air around you for 1.54 seconds, causing a lightning bolt to periodically hit an enemy in that area. So if I have to explain this legendary aspect, you do a lot of critical strikes, and this 1.4 multiplies. So if you strike 10 enemies, it's going to be 14 seconds. 14 seconds, yeah, exactly. If you hit 100 enemies, it's going to be, I don't know, more than 2 minutes, stuff like this. So in a way, you can charge this to 2, 3, 4 minutes, and then you can do the entire dungeon, and this particular effect will be there. It's not really powerful, but it's an extra damage, so why not? And here, look at this, you gain 0.35% increased armor for 4 seconds when you deal any form of damage. So if you're standing still doing damage, you'll be getting more powerful, you'll be getting more tanky. This is what you want to happen. And finally, this one, the duration of Earth and Bulwark is increased by 6 seconds. This is all we need. Unfortunately, we cannot kill anybody with Earth skills, and you cannot replenish the barrier, but we can make sure that the duration is increased. Now let's jump into battle. We're going to do a dungeon so that I can demonstrate how the build works. Alright, like in every other dungeon, you don't really want to fight 1 or 2 monsters, you just go for the objectives, or if you want to kill everything, that's up to you. But the point is, this build is not particularly that effective if you're fighting a group of 3 or 4 monsters. I look at this at the moment, I'm lagging like hell, but I also don't have any mana, spirit. Look at this, bam! There we go, full spirit, and I can kill everything. And in this particular case, I didn't even use my ultimate, because while I use my ultimate, I have the highest chance to reset the cooldown of Poison Creeper, so I can do it almost double, twice in a row. So this is what I'm going to do now. Oh my god. So I will try to get everything out of cooldown first, then I'm going to do this, this, and then you see Poison Creeper is recharged, so I can do it again. And yeah, everybody's dead. It was that easy. Okay. Unfortunately, another thing that you need to be careful is not to waste this. This is important, so try not to waste it. Oh, there was another guy here. I totally forgot that he exists anyways, and he's going to die. This build, by the way, is just okay against bosses. It is strong. I can even basically tank the Butcher with this build without any issues whatsoever. But it has high cooldowns, so you have to be careful. And again, Hurricane is not here to do 17 damage. Hurricane is here to generate spirit. This is the main issue. This is the main point of Hurricane. Also, as you saw, Poison Creeper can generate spirit. And it is written that it just generates according to... oopsie, I'm sorry about that. Oh my god. It is just said that it generates 1 spirit, but it's 1 spirit per monster. So, let's find some monsters to demonstrate. Okay, this monster come here. 63. So look at this. The more monsters are around you, the more spirit Hurricane generates. So it's so easy never to run out of spirit in this particular build. Anyways, let's find another guy. I'm not quite sure whether this particular dungeon has the thing, you know. Not sure whether they have bosses. Definitely, I'm not sure about that. But if I meet the Butcher, it's going to be better. Probably, I'm not going to meet him. That's unfortunate. Anyways, you see they're all dying. Like, it's not really difficult, not at all. Alright, so we are next to the boss in the dungeon Inferno. We're going to activate this. I hope there is a boss. Yeah, there we go. What we're going to do is this, and this, and we hope to get a free proc of Poison Creeper. Unfortunately, it's much more difficult if you're facing a single target compared to a regular like group of monsters. Now the problem is here, Hurricane is not going to be that effective. It will just regenerate 1 spirit, but still you won't have any issues against bosses, as you can see. 0 issues. I don't think that he even dropped me below the maximum life. So in a way, this is the build. Once again, thing to remember is that you have to use your Bulwark wisely. However, it can be all forgiven if you have this particular legendary affix. So even if you use your Bulwark and then you get CC'd and drop below the healthy line, you're going to get the bubble, which will make you immune, and you live to see another day. Alright guys, this is going to be all from me today. If you like this video, found it useful, don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and see you next time. Take care.
Perfect.